I'm Päivi, artist from Finland, and this time I have something to show you. I have a full art journal / sketchbook, and it's full of ideas. And I don't think this is just any book. It's not just full of sketches. It's not just full of careless pages. It's very polished in some ways. But still, these pieces have been sketches for my bigger paintings, and these have been ideas for the online courses that I run as well. And there are some coursework as well. So it's a mixture of all kinds of ideas that you can use as they are presented, or you can sign up for my courses to dive deeper into those topics. So let's look inside this book. My art journal is Dylusions Creative Journal, and it had plain cardboard covers. After I had finished all the pages, I painted the covers. The first idea of the 50 is to get inspiration from the covers of printed books. I painted borders around the cover image and around the text in the back. I have some video footage of the painting process, but you can find it in the end of this video so that we can start browsing the rest of the journal right away. The journal has 46 spreads, plus the inside cover. Let's start looking at the pages and their ideas. You'll see a lot of my hand-drawn animals in this journal, but I also enjoy drawing objects like tassels. It's also fun to continue their style around them and create a luxurious feel for the background. My father used to draw horses when I was a child in this style, and I'm still excited about it. You can learn to draw in this style with my courses Animal Inkdom and Magical Inkdom. The projects are easy to start and follow along, and you can go into as much detail as you want. Sometimes we forget what we have, and it's good to dig out those forgotten supplies. I picked felt tip pens, Copic markers and gel pens, and made an abstract drawing on a separate paper. The drawing was a bit bigger than the inside cover. I then cut the best part of the drawing and glued it on the cover. You are the author of the book, so why not introduce yourself right at the beginning? Tell us who you are in words and pictures. Give the book a title that inspires you. Mine is Fantastic Freedom. I have printed the title on thin paper and then painted around it. I have a free video on my blog and on my YouTube channel that explains this technique. Paint over any page so that the previous layers show through. Then add details on top of everything. Let's get inspired by Alice in Wonderland. Paint your own version of a place where strange things happen. For example, in my painting, the flowers have legs. Paint a room with large open windows. Imagine that the outside world floods in. Imagine a lovely cafe where you bake cakes. Decorate the pages with sweet colors, berries and flowers. My course Decodashery has step-by-step directions for painting cakes and decorative flowers. Use colored pencils like they are paints and color without outlines and without a predefined image. You can learn more about this technique in my course Intuitive Coloring. Use a child's drawing as a starting point for a page. I drew this lion as a small child and my mother had saved it. Make a window from one page to another by cutting a hole. Pick a black pen and scribble and doodle your heart out. Then use the drawing as a coloring page. Draw on a transparent film or print your drawing on the film. Remove part of the page and attach the film there. I have printed one of my drawings and colored it with alcohol inks. Draw animals and use unconventional colors and details. Paint a background and attach the animals there. Just as there are objects from many different eras in your home, there can be temporal layers in your journal too. So combine your art from several years into one spread. I have cut a part of the right page out and attached an old drawing there. It was made over 10 years ago, while the painted background was made in 2020. And the zebra was drawn in 2019 and then later added to complete the spread. Collect happy things and write comforting and hopeful thoughts. I love how journaling looks on a colored background. Even if art making can often be complicated, it can also be as simple as this. Color a background, write on it. By creating, we cherish our inner child. Let her face appear in one of your pages. Add drawings and paintings as vertical stripes on the spread. In 2021, I recorded a free video about making this page. It can be found on my blog and on my YouTube channel. Let blue tones dominate the background and create an underwater scenery. I played with the idea of underwater scenery and painted flowers instead of fish. Imagine what can happen in the night when no one is watching. Make up a fairy tale while you draw. In my fairy tale, the squirrel starts collecting decorative eggs instead of nuts and becomes a miserable and hungry little animal. But the eggs grow bigger and bigger, and when one hatches, it creates a palace around itself and throws a grand party. Isn't that what art is all about? At first you think, what on earth could I draw? But once you get started, you realize that you can draw pretty much anything. You can draw wings for almost anybody and on almost anything. I made a flying wolf. Air currents are fun to draw too, and you can also decorate them with patterns. Express spring, summer, fall and winter, all 4 seasons in one spread. Just like there are seed potatoes, you can have seed drawings that give you an idea for a page. My seeds are often flowers. I have a free video on my blog and on my YouTube channel about making this spread. We start with a single flower. Here is another example where I have multiple seeds for a similar flower-themed spread. Every journal has sad pages that started well but ended badly. I didn't want to leave all that ugliness here, but decided to use what I call floralizing. So I left only some happy parts visible of the original mess and then painted flowers on the top. Carve a lino plate and use it as a stamp. I continued the stamped background to express my appreciation for lemons. I love how lemons look and taste, and they are so much fun to paint too. These instructions can be found on my blog. I have made a simple guide on how to recreate the face from Johannes Vermeer's painting Girl with Pearl Earring. You only need 3 colors for the skin: light, medium and dark. Follow the shapes as accurately as you can. Make your own version by adding flowers and other decorations. Old paintings often have glowing lights, and when I thought about the world where my Vermeer girl lives in, there should definitely be some glow. So my 31st idea is to make a page that glows without using any glitter. Instead, make soft transitions from light to dark. Faces are fun to draw, but I suggest to go beyond the conventional and visualize the person's spirit too. The right page is the person and the left page are her thoughts. I have a free video about making the portrait, the face. It can be found on my blog and on my YouTube channel. Glue a couple of small drawings on the page and continue their outlines so that they form a new image. This might look complicated, but it's really easy to start. Paint the background with watercolors and then use it as an inspiration for coloring. Focus on small details and slowly grow the image from them. Paint stripes of your current favorite colors. Try different color combinations and make some stripes broader than others. Scan your drawings and print them smaller. Use the printed images for a fun collage. For example, draw stripes and decorate them with the images. Here you can see my original drawing beside the printed one. Paint rectangles and triangles to make a design. You can use the painting as a base for a digital design and then make a repeat to see how it works as a fabric or a quilt. I got this idea from the famous modernist Paul Klee's paintings and his book called Pedagogical Sketchbook. I talk more about Paul Klee's art theories in the course Floral Freedom. Books have chapters, so why not make them on your art journals too? I have a special chapter called Hearts and Stories. This chapter is actually a course too. This course, Hearts and Stories, is especially for art journalists. We'll start with a simple heart shape and build a bigger picture step by step. If you are in a creative rut, this course will get you excited about making art again. One spread of the Hearts and Stories chapter is made on the free video called Art Journal as a Storybook. It can be found on my blog and on my YouTube channel. After the Hearts and Stories chapter, I have a spread inspired by my childhood. I loved to play with plastic horses, wear red pantyhose, and our 1970s home had lots of colors. Rather than drawing a realistic person, design a doll with all the accessories. Make an impact with the contrast between bright flowers and dark background color. Work from back to front. Add more than one color to the background and at the same time adjust the shape of the foreground objects. For example, flowers. Make organic shapes more angular and thus more abstract and modern. After this spread, I made a canvas painting that has a similar style. Imagine that the letters are fictional characters and add expression and decorations to them. Here's another example. If you have small art journals, you can use their pages as collage pieces. Even if the pages of your journal weren't watercolor paper, paint with watercolors anyway. Add color layer by layer and be patient. Imagine a building that is full of fun details. Play with colors. Imagine being in an imaginary place. Visualize the atmosphere instead of the physical details. Color what you feel, hear, and smell, and how you experience the light. Be a maximalist and get inspired by nature's abundance. Draw a shape and then divide it into several shapes again and again. After this spread, I made a canvas painting that has even more visual richness because it has a wider variety of shapes. Divide the page into small compartments and color the compartments one by one. It's like you have a jewel box there. enjoyed all the 50 ideas. Next, I have some footage about painting the front and the back cover. I start by adding masking tape in the middle and then move on to paint borders on the front cover. I use acrylic paints because I think they are the most durable choice here. I don't use any models, but just paint freely. On the back, I write that this has been my art journal from 2020 to 2025. Of course, I also have other journals and sketchbooks, and that's why it took 5 years to fill this one. I also write that the pages are not made in chronological order. Now when I look back, I would actually like to have more dates in my journal. When I create a page, the date doesn't seem so important then, but later it would be nice to know when the page was made. Fortunately, I have documentation as blog posts and photos, so I can track back the date. It's actually quite amazing how much you can grow your skills in few years. So let's keep creating and learning.